Hello, welcome to the Breakthrough Hiring Show. I'm your host, James Mackey. Today we're joined by Sean Mallapurkar. Sean, welcome to the show.
Thanks, James.
And
And
we're very excited to host you today. We're going to
happy to
have
be here.
a lot of fun talking, I think, just about recruiting technology and how it's impacting the staffing and recruiting industry and other industries as well. And hopefully, this will be a very informative episode for our audience if you're looking for the latest trends and technologies out there and the way that leaders are thinking about the evolution of tech and product within the space. So, anyways, Sean, to kick us off, we'd love to learn more about you. Maybe we could start with your background and you could get into telling us a little bit about the founding of
Yeah,
Recruit CRM afterward.
absolutely. And James, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. Just for the audience to know, of like fun story. I pitched James Recruit CRM when we just launched, a year into us launching in like 2019. We launched in 2018, and I sent him like personal videos and messages and stuff. So it's awesome to finally get to be in front of him face to face. Obviously, not selling our product anymore, and just talk about the journey from that point to now as well is incredible. So just a few quick stats on Recruit CRM and who we are. Recruit CRM is an ATS and CRM plus everything system for recruiting and staffing firms. We do everything from helping recruiting and staffing firms run their customer relationships, their candidate relationships, pipeline management, generating executive search reports, publishing jobs on their website, publishing jobs on over 2,000 job boards across the world, setting up advanced analytics and customer reporting, yeah, managing their website, if I didn't mention that already, setting up Zapier-like workflow automation so we can help you integrate all the tools you use to each other, and also helping you message people on LinkedIn, view messages that your colleagues are sending to people on LinkedIn right on one platform in one CRM. So the idea is we help you do everything that a recruitment firm needs in one place. The reason I got into this is not by choice. So I didn't choose to be a recruitment entrepreneur. I was forced. So when I was 5 years old, from the time I was 5 years old, my dad worked for a recruiting and staffing firm. My dad used to be the CEO of Randstad's India business. If you're not on video, I'm Indian. I look very Indian. And growing up, dad was part of Randstad as they grew from 80, 90 consultants to a couple thousand consultants. They paid him well for doing that job. He used that money to pay for my rip-off American college education. And as I graduated from college and ran a failed startup in the Bay Area right after graduating, my dad called me and he basically said, I'm starting a tech company. And since I paid for college, you're my slave. And so I and dad started Recruit CRM together because he had subject matter expertise and he needed someone who understood tech to come in and help him build that product. Since then, the two of us have bootstrapped Recruit CRM from the two of us to just under 200 people on our team. We serve just under 2,000 recruiting and staffing businesses and a few corporations and private equity firms across the world. Uh, and they're spread across 103 countries. And that's who we are. The one thing we're most proud of is in the whole journey from zero to like circa 10 million in subscriptions, we have never raised a dollar of debt or equity. It's a completely family-owned software business producing a few million in profit every year, which is probably rare for software businesses. And I'm based out of Dubai.
That's incredible. It's a huge success story. It's really impressive, and I'm looking forward to learning more about what you've built. And you've certainly developed quite the brand and reputation. And I know a lot of folks in the staffing and recruiting industry have certainly either worked with you or heard of you or are currently considering you. And it sounds like your team just continues to pick up momentum, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, we're outside of maybe one or two products that are in the market, we have the most engineers on our team as well. So of the 200 people we have on our team, over 90 are software engineers. And if you add product managers and UI developers on top of that, it's like 55 to 60% of our team. So we're constantly churning out features. We literally launch or make between 50 to 20 releases a month. So there's always a new update. That's what helps us stay on top of our game.
Okay. Wow. I'm excited to learn more about those. And I have been going through your website and I did before this recording as well. just to try to get a feel for what you do. And it's the company's grown so much. It's you have a pretty significant product suite, it looks like. I love it. I don't know if you would consider it more of an all-in-one play, but it seems
It
that
is yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of the most successful companies in recruiting technology, whether it's for in-house corporate teams or staffing, start to go in that direction. And the level of sophistication with these all-in-one products are much better than the all-in-one solutions we were seeing on the market 5, 10 years ago. So it's a very compelling use case for sure. I wanted to get an overview on your primary product offerings. I know it's applicant tracking system, CRM, but maybe could you break down the different products and just the high level workflow of what
Yeah,
your product
of course,
does?
of course,
Okay.
absolutely. So the core of the platform, which is probably, if we have 5 or 6 products, the flagship ATS and CRM is, let's say, 70% of the feature set, right? And the ATS and CRM is essentially, the full forms are applicant tracking system, CRM is customer relationship management system. But basically what it does is it helps you manage candidates, clients, client contacts, jobs, and deals in one place, along with all of your tasks, meetings, emails, LinkedIn messages, outbound sequences. So you don't need a separate tool like Outreach, and voice over IP. So you can actually buy phone numbers from us. You can register those phone numbers to different users on your team, and then they can make phone calls using our mobile app or the computer to candidates or clients, or receive phone calls that are all recorded, transcripted, and AI summarized. So it's not just an ATS or CRM system, it is everything. So people
Mm,
use our system to go to LinkedIn, source candidates or source clients, put them in the system, format resumes and CVs. So we reformat documents for people. You can put candidates or client into email sequences. You can message people on LinkedIn from within Recruit CRM. You can then call them and record and transcribe those calls with candidates or clients, whether it's picking up a job description from a client or having a conversation with a candidate about what they're looking for. And so you're
hmm
able to understand that without having to listen to the entire call recording because it's summarized. We give you Kanban boards, so you can look at a Kanban board of revenue opportunities or deals or leads you're talking to, or candidates within different stages within a specific job, within all jobs a consultant is working on, or all jobs with a client. You can then send the client candidates either via email with attachments or via a portal where the client can log in and actually look at candidates and give you feedback and even send you new requisitions or jobs to work on.
hmm
So there's the two-way communication there. Then do commission calculations, reports, analytics on that data. And then a lot of our product or add-on suite is built through partnerships. So we've partnered with a lot of companies. Like for analytics, we've partnered with a company called Metabase, where you're able to actually get Metabase analytics within Recruit CRM. So when you get a lot of CRM products, what happens is most of the times you have to run analytics separately on an advanced analytics platform like a Power BI or a Tableau or a Looker. And to do
hmm
that, you have to take all the data from your CRM and you need to figure out some way, via usually through APIs if you need it to be live, to put it in a data warehouse and then run an analytics tool on top of it. What we've done is we've licensed an analytics tool, put it into Recruit CRM, into a window inside Recruit CRM, gotten BI analysts, trained them on staffing and recruiting use cases, and then told our customers, we've already taken your data, it's already in a world-class analytics platform. And then here are people who are going to help you build whatever reports you want. You can put them on a TV, do gamification, like anything and everything. Same with workflow automation. So we work with a company called Workato, which is similar to Zapier, but more enterprise. And we basically embedded it within Recruit CRM. And we go to our customers and we say, hey, instead of going buying Zapier, get this through us at a very similar price.
hmm
But we will give you experts on our team who have set up automations for recruitment agencies who will help you set up best practices. Everything from if you submit a candidate to a client, if they don't react within 2 days, send the recruiter a notification to follow up with them or send the client a notification. If a candidate is stuck in a specific hiring stage for more than a certain amount of days, give the recruiter a notification. Every time you make a placement, once the person joins, send them a survey. If they respond to the survey as being super happy, send them another form to give you like a Google review, create a DocuSign contract, stuff that can help you basically run your business better. Plus just pushing data into other tools you need. So this
Yeah.
is stuff we do on top of the traditional ATS and CRM. And then we work with a company called Wong for multi-posting, where you can buy ads or even place ads on over 2,000 job boards across the world and stuff like that.
So with these different partnerships, are they signing agreements with your partners, or does all the contract run through you?
With Recruit CRM, everything runs through us. So you have one customer success manager, you have one contract, which is with Recruit CRM, and you basically just pick tick and add-ons into your subscription with us, like when you buy the product. Even there, in a couple months, we're introducing an all-in-one plan that'll be a little more expensive, but include everything, so you don't have to separately choose and pick and get your procurement team to approve different add-ons 6 months later.
That's smart.
And yeah, and the only thing is, depending on which product you're using, specifically the technical products, let's say advanced analytics or workflow automation, we have different people within our team who are trained to implement those, who the CSM also brings in to help you implement those parts of the product. But you're never talking to like if there's a problem in any of these products, you talk to us. You don't have to talk to each sub vendor. So you as a 10-person agency or 20-person agency doesn't have to buy analytics separately and then set up your own Zaps and Zapier and then set up Recruit CRM and then figure out the API link to your website. And then if something breaks, continuously reach out to 4 different people to figure out what works and what doesn't. We just
Okay.
everything.
And then are you targeting the entire different customer sizes within staffing and recruiting, so SMB to enterprise, or do you have a sweet spot?
So it's largely, I'd say, mostly SMB to mid-market. So our customers range
Great.
from 1 user to like 250, 300 users. We don't have a 5,000 user. Like when you say enterprise, I think of Hayes and Michael Page.
Sure.
Hayes is a customer though, actually, while I say that. But we're approved vendor for Hayes RPOs, which means and that too specifically in the European Union, in the EU. So if Hayes is doing an RPO with, let's say, KLM, the airline, they bring us in and then we deploy it for one project for one of their offices or something, but it's not like a massive partnership. Or Volkswagen is one of our customers who has 50 consultants using us to recruit for Porsche, Audi, Lamborghini, and so on. But even then, it's not like it's like a corporate recruitment team recruiting for their brands.
Yeah, it's almost set up in a different, like an agency perspective.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. In fact, they charge them fees too, because like they
really
the subsidiary that does this charges an invoice to each brand separately because they all have their own P&Ls and they want to make sure that there's ROI on this. So they even bill them. So it's literally like an agency. It's just the money flows back to the same pocket. Like
that's interesting.
It's all within the same shareholding group. But yeah.
Yeah. And then are you saying, it sounds like you mentioned that you have a fair amount of executive search firms.
Yeah. About I'd say 30. So 30% of our customers, 25 to 30% of our customers are pure retained executive search firms. So they're like, they only work on retainers, only exclusive, that type. Other 40 to 50% do some exec search, but they're mostly not retained. So they're either doing it on a contingent or they're taking a tiny upfront, like exclusivity fee type thing. But it's not,
like $5,000 or something.
Yeah, but it's not retained.
Yeah.
Because we think of retained, we're thinking of at least like you're taking 25 to 35% of the fee upfront. And then the rest of it could be 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, or it could be 1/3, 2/3, right? Depending on, more recently, it's more 1/3, 2/3. The fee on presentation is not as common, especially in this market. But on the middle end of it, which is exclusive contingent recruitment, you call it no cure, no pay recruitment in Europe or direct hire recruitment, that's like a big chunk. And then a few of our customers also do like contract staffing and temping and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a pretty big spread then.
Yeah.
As I was wondering, I was like, are you going to see this more on the temp staffing side? I honestly, it surprised me a little bit that this would be primarily used by exec search or a big customer segment, because I would have thought, because it's low volume, there would be more manual motions, and more like an old school relationship based approach versus a higher volume kind of staff augmentation where automation and efficiency gains. It's cool to see that.
Search is very inefficient. Executive search. So an average executive search firm, when you pick up a search and you take a retainer, you're doing a weekly or bi-weekly presentation PDF where you're presenting candidates that you've done research on and talked to and stuff.
Yeah.
Most of these firms have like research assistants or associates or whatever they call them, who spend usually the entire Friday or the Thursday before the Friday, spending 4 or 5 hours formatting this pretty looking PDF, right, to present. We generate that in about 20 seconds. And so a
Yeah.
lot of search firms, literally, like outside of everything, an executive was like, "Hey, I'll buy you just for this one feature," because right now, like sometimes I have to ask someone to generate the report because the partner doesn't even know how to do it because they've not been formatting like PDFs for like decades.
Mm-hmm.
If the person who's supposed to format it is on holiday or is someone offshore doing it for them and they don't do it on time, like it's a problem. And now they can do it with a click. And so that is super valuable. Also, search firms really care about retaining conversations from many years ago. So if they've
Mm-hmm.
used us for 4 years and they've had a conversation or a colleague has had a conversation with a candidate and it's recorded and transcribed, that's very valuable to them versus someone doing high volume.
Oh, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. And there's, in a little while too, we can talk about June, which is my recruiting tech company. And where we are, one of the customer segments we think is going to be our primary ICP is staffing and recruiting. And we've had simple, we also made a bit of assumptions about the types of roles and staffing firms that we think would want to leverage the tech that were essentially broken, right? And we're like, oh wow, the application is across the board to different types of agencies, not just this initial kind of segment that we thought it would be. So we talk more about that in a little bit too, and I'd be curious to get your thoughts and go back and forth on some of that stuff too. But I think I'm curious when you're talking with your customers in beginning of 2025, Q4 2024, what are they asking for right now? What are the feature sets and the products
Yeah.
that they really want over the next 12 to 18 months?
It's actually the same theme it's been since like I'd say probably about the last 12 months, give or take. Within 3 to 4 months of ChatGPT coming out and getting big, everyone's wanted the same thing. They were like, how can this be implemented in work? Everyone asks about AI, but when we talk to them, what we realize is they actually need two things. Most firms have a lot of stupid, repetitive tasks that need to be automated that don't necessarily have to be AI.
Sure,
That
right.
you know, they say I want generative AI, but what they basically want is I want an automated message to go out to this client if they don't pay an invoice after 7 days, and then another one after 12 days, and then I want a task for a human to pick up the phone and call them. And
Right.
that doesn't require generative AI. That requires a defined process that you map, and then a system that just automatically executes it like a robot over and over again. So they want
Sure.
automation, right? So one, we sit with them and educate them on the differences between the two. And then they also want generative AI for stuff. Hey, I want to write an email, but I don't want to have to type the entire email. I just want to write a little prompt. And in fact, you know what? Screw that. I want to write a prompt and I want you to create a 12-step sequence for what the first message should be. And if they don't respond, should I send them should I get a reminder as a task or an SMS or another email? And how do you create that sequence with a prompt? And then I can just edit it and save it and then use that. Very basic. How can I use AI for job description generation? And then how can I use AI to take someone's resume and reformat it into a completely different. I want to tell AI, please do a write up on James and focus on how he would be a great fit as a head of talent at a software company. And you take his resume and you basically have GPT rewrite it with what GPT assumes would be a great formation of his
Yeah,
knowledge
that's
into that.
smart. I
And
like that. I like
yeah,
that a lot.
so that's where AI is useful. But in recruitment, actually, I believe automation is actually more important than AI.
Mhm.
And it's also super useful. You take a call transcription and you like convert it into like really actionable text and stuff. But with most recruitment businesses, what you need more than AI is automation. Because AI, okay, it's not very difficult. You just plug into an existing model, you plug into OpenAI 4.0 or something, and you're completely fine. And most products will be at parity there. Where you're not at parity is setting up workflows that are repetitive, that are consuming an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours every single day,
Yeah.
that human effort, that are not things that you can just do with generative AI. It's just a process that you need to implement.
So just to give you some context, so I started a company called June and officially launched in December, which is there's definitely an AI component. We don't consider ourselves an AI company exactly. We, of course, from a branding perspective, it's you have to say AI powered essentially.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way it's like every company is going to have AI. So like this idea of it like being an AI.
Every
Yeah.
company is an AI company. Like the car company is an AI company now because
Yeah,
it's selling.
exactly. It's yeah, it's just how companies are going to be built is. But anyways, we essentially our product, which I think there's AI components, there's certainly automation workflow components to it. But essentially, we our mission is to optimize inbound recruitment to create essentially a larger contribution and ROI to hiring. And the initial product is an AI agent where essentially when candidates apply inbound to a job, June will immediately SMS or call the candidate and conduct the pre-screen interview. So typically asking like knockout questions, the types of questions which the first 5 minutes of a screening interview, a recruiter would know the candidate's disqualified. So those types of questions, essentially the inefficiencies, as it's all the times an hour a day or whatever it might be, where recruiters are reviewing resumes, scheduling calls, and then speaking with candidates that they disqualify quickly. June essentially eliminates all of that. And the productivity gains are quite significant as well in terms of hours of productivity back to recruiters, decreasing time to fill for inbound applications, and a decrease in
So
talent acquisition costs.
James, is this basically like they have you send the candidate a link, they click on it, and there's like a video prompt asking them questions, and they answer it, and then June just processes that and does not.
It's essentially so it's not there is a link, but essentially when candidates apply to a job, when
Yeah.
candidates apply, June is triggered to automatically reach out to them, assuming that they opt in. June automatically reaches out and conducts the pre-screening and then essentially evaluates
What is
the
the pre-screening a video interview, or is it just like a bunch of questions
no,
that they?
not video now. Right now, SMS, and we're rolling out
Okay.
voice. And so essentially, June's taking large applicant pools and turning them into candidate shortlists for
Okay.
hiring teams.
Yeah.
So a hiring team could just say, okay, yeah, it's like who are the top three candidates that applied today or this week or something like that.
And how does it do the ranking? Because I'll give you an example, right? So we've one customer. They do very successful company, almost 200 people on the team, and they do a lot of offshore recruitment. They help
Mhm.
businesses in the US find talent in Latin America, South Africa, and the Philippines. They got acquired for 50 million bucks 6, 7 months ago, somewhere.com. And so what they do is we do something very similar for them. We don't rank, but what we do is we have a workflow automation set up using our workflow automation system where they're receiving anywhere from 50 to 100,000 applications every month, right? It's just they get lots of applications in those countries and they have rules. They say for this job, we need them to be based in the Philippines for time zone reasons or in Colombia, and they need to speak Spanish and then or whatever the flags are. And they set that on the job. And whenever someone applies to that job, the application form automatically includes those questions. So right on the application form is customized by job.
Mhm.
And based on what they fill in those answers, people get auto rejected. So like most people get auto rejected, right?
Right.
So not to share their exact stats and stuff, but like most people get auto rejected. And that just saves the actual recruiter many hours. But what we don't have, like what you said, is which of these now remaining candidates are the top three? Don't know. If
Yeah, it's the evaluation. It's also just like the aspect of being an intelligent form, like being able to ask follow-up
yeah,
clarification.
exactly.
You could say something, a job could be like, do you work on weekends? And a candidate might say every weekend, every once in a while, or there might just be like nuance, right? Where
Yeah.
there's so it manages that aspect as well. But yeah, the initial functionality is essentially creating candidate shortlist, stack ranking, evaluation, essentially like an intelligent
Yeah.
form, of course, integrating with the applicant tracking systems to push that back into an existing workflow.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think that would
yeah,
work very well, even with an automation system like ours, that I'm sure a lot of other folks have too. Because what happens is most people want to use a cheaper way of doing bulk qualification. So, for
right.
example, when a company uses what I just talked about to process 50,000 applications because we have batch processing, that can cost like $100 or $200 to
Yeah.
process 50,000 people and get to the top, let's say 10,000. At that point, you can trigger a more specialized tool like yours that's probably going to be more expensive than like 0.000 per person, and it can do a higher quality engagement. So people are still able to control cost by not freaking out and saying, oh, you're going to send this expensive AI questionnaire to 50,000 people. No, you just focus on the top, and then you have, let's say, 500 people or 1,000 people across 50 jobs.
Yeah, I think so. That is one of the use cases, right? And I think this is also, it's like why we're dialing in on staffing and recruiting as we feel like they're going to be early adopters for technology like this as well. And I think, yeah, right now our strategy is to be a fantastic point solution. And we do see opportunities to grow through partnerships where we're looking for all-in-one product suites and different applicant tracking systems and different strategic partners to to partner with and integrate into workflows for a more holistic solution for customers. But yeah, I think the evaluation piece is certainly really valuable for a lot of agencies, and all that time that you get back is with your automation and ours too. It's like that those are hours that can be used on more strategic motions.
Yeah.
So
Anything that's automated and repetitive, that's like a standard set of questions with a standard response, which results in a standard yes or no, a human shouldn't be doing that. If there's no creativity to like the task, a robot should do it.
yeah, 100%. Yeah. So
So
what's in terms of the future, like just to get a little bit more big picture and to zoom
yeah,
out a little bit, where do you think recruiting tech for staffing and recruiting is agencies is really going? Do you have any thoughts on what the technology is going to look like on the market 12 to 18 months from now? Or what do you think is
I
going
think
to be?
12 to 18 months is like fairly easier. If you ask me
Yeah.
like 5 years from now, I don't know. But
Yeah. Right.
12 to 18 months, I think more and more platforms will become full stack, doing more
Yeah.
things rather than just being point solutions. Because it's just, I think customers have vendor fatigue, which means like we within Recruit CRM pay for like about 140 different tools because we have 200 people and they're different departments and functions, and each department has
Yeah.
multiple tools. And we buy some tools that sit within the Recruit CRM product suite. And it's just ridiculous because I can't even name 30 if I have to just name them, but we're paying for 140 tools. Like for some of them, sure, we're paying 50 or $100, but for some of them, we're paying $5,000 a month. So it's a range, and some a little bit more than that as well. And so I think more and more companies will realize that customers that are happy with them want to buy everything from them. So they should just build everything out or partner or integrate and have a one-stop shop to a certain extent, or more stop shops, right? Like at
Yeah.
least cover a larger percentage of the use case. So that'll happen more for sure. I believe AI tools will be a little more embedded into the recruitment workflow. So the last probably 6 months, everyone rushed into like just plugging AI into their product. So these are
Yeah.
not AI products. So when you say AI product, that's a company that's building their own foundational model. These are AI powered products, which are using someone.
It's just the application
Yeah.
layer versus the
Yeah,
foundational layer, right? Yeah.
exactly. So we're not an AI company. We just happen to use AI that's now available to make our stats
Right.
better, right? Which is what most people are doing,
Hmm.
irrespective of wrapper it around, right? Like they package it. And I believe the implementation of that AI is going to be significantly better because now companies have figured out, okay, customers like this, they don't like this. Let's optimize or fine tune it versus basically just having a window into base ChatGPT into your product, right? That's
Yeah.
basically what it is when you use. So instead of just doing that, having based on learning from how people are using your product, have preset prompts, like optimize how you're training your own versions of those models. So that's going to change. What we are doing within Recruit CRM to go even more full stack is building products for the larger contract staffing market as well, because there's significantly more people working at the contract staffing layer in both blue and white collar jobs than there are VPs and CXOs. And for this technology to truly get the degree of impact it can get and produce the financial outcome or the business outcome as a company, we need to be serving that market wider and better. So we already have contract staffing customers, but they don't do timesheets on us. So we usually integrate with a timesheet vendor to help them do timesheets and timekeeping and stuff. So we're building our
Mm.
own sheets platform. And eventually the goal is for us to handle timesheets and then eventually not just integrate with payroll systems like an ADP, but also run our own payroll in select countries, let's say the United States, the UK, and so on, where we have large numbers of customers. So we can be a full stop shop from helping you manage your website, ATS CRM, automation, and then back office, and then actual reconciliation, and then also collecting payments and dispersing payments.
Yeah.
Uh, and
Oh, that's
basically
great.
be all and end all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long do you think it's going to take to build
The
that out?
contract staffing piece we will build out this year. So we're already working on it. So
That's
we
great.
should live in 6 months. We will, or less than that, we should have timesheets available. We won't be doing payroll yet. We'll just be plugging into local payroll systems via API, which makes the most sense. Doing payroll ourselves is probably 2 or 3 years away. We'll probably also be doing payments by the end of the year. So people can collect payments to pay out their contract staff or even uh, firm recruitment payments through us with essentially no processing fees or super low regular ACH transfer processing fees.
Yeah.
The reason why I believe people will choose to use that versus just raising an invoice manually or using a Stripe is because it'll cost the same. But because it's linked into your ATS and CRM system, when you collect that payment, we're automatically able to mark that invoice as paid, update the status of a deal, the commission calculations, and do a lot of stuff that revolves around collecting the cash
Yeah.
in a business. So that's what we're really excited for over the next 12 months, and then how we'll execute on that or go to market on that over 2026, 2027, 2028. And
Oh,
then
that's really cool.
personally at Recruit CRM, our vision or goal is to build a billion-dollar business, a publicly traded billion-dollar business. And so hopefully our Series A is an IPO,
That'd
right?
be pretty cool.
And that'd be great financial outcome for my family and for the team since we've never raised venture capital.
That's really exciting. You got all sorts of things going on, and I think the roadmap in terms of taking on payments and everything, in terms of automating that entire process, is there's a ton of efficiency gains across, and it's also just collaborating in between departments and finance and the revenue organization, delivery team, the recruiters. It's just going to make it a lot less manual back and forth, right?
Everything is in one place. Everyone's
Yeah.
accessing one system with different degrees of access control to view different parts. But now you don't have to be like, hey, it's updated on our billing system, but it's not updated in our CRM system, which then needs to plug into our commission system. And
Yeah. It also it creates bloated costs on the finance team, and then it also does, of course, like it dilutes focus from the recruiting teams where they like it's even if it doesn't take them a ton of time, it's all the context switching and it's just an additional workflow and something that
it's
they
a
really
pain.
shouldn't be. Yeah, it's a total pain,
Yeah.
massive inefficiency. So that's really
And
smart.
Recruit CRM will reduce that pain.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
glad to-
That's why your teams you're growing so fast and you're doing so well. I mean, I'm definitely going to be talking to people about what you're building and talking to the folks I know in staffing and recruiting.
Awesome. You should, and what for people listening too, we have an affiliate program, guys. So like James and everyone else listening should join. Just go to our website, go to partner with us. You get 20% of whatever someone you refer to us brings us in the first year, but you have to register first. You can't refer,
Okay.
then register. Doesn't work. Sorry, James, please.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. Sean, we're coming up on time here, but this has been a great episode. It's been great getting to know you a little bit and what you're building, and clearly you all know what you're doing, and I think you're going to continue to grow at a rapid pace, and I think you've made the right bets in terms of becoming an all-in-one solution. You've read the market very well over the past few years. You've built in the right direction, and you're continuing to do that, and it all makes a ton of sense to me. I'm a big fan of what you're building already, so I appreciate you sharing your insights with our audience today and joining me.
Thanks, James. I appreciate it. Thanks for bringing me here. Thanks for saying all the nice things you've said in the last couple minutes. I really appreciate it. And then best of luck with June. I'm sure you'll kill it.
Thank you. Thank you. And for everybody joining us today, thanks so much, and make sure to tune in next week as well. Talk to you later. Bye.